Greetings, hey, it's Susie Q. Today we begin to break down attraction 41 questions. Today is question number 35. These can be found via podcast and video at YouTube channel, Holistic Healing Community by Susie Juravich. Do subscribe to follow this complimentary offering of how to tune into attracting your desired goal intent. Adieu, you say groovy new vibe. Today's question number 35 is this. Does your imagination spark new creative approaches to attracting your desired outcome? Now, as luck would have it, I started my podcast probably about an hour and a half ago, and this is how I work. When I have a phone call with a deep connecting, high vibing friend, I stop the podcast, delete it, and take the call. I had 2 calls in a row. And what's weird is when I started it, I went through the intro and through the question, and in my mind or in my heart or somewhere in my field, when I read it the first time, the outcome turned into income. And I know as I was talking to my high vibing friends, I thought, how attraction, income, then I was thinking love and money hold the same frequency. But now that I've come back to it and I'm reading it, it actually says your desired outcome. So isn't that interesting where our minds go? And I don't know if there was some sort of computer trickery. I seriously doubt it. But it was interesting when I read it earlier. I read income, and now I'm looking at outcome. So I am noting that. And I really think that all of us can take time and look at experiences in our lives where we're so believing our truth, so believing it, and then something will happen and you'll go, wow, that wasn't true at all. And that's interesting too, because I was in Sedona over the weekend with a high vibing friend, Mary Wilson, and what we both noticed is that there was a lot of things that we believed that were true that just weren't. And I won't go into specific details, but we were clearly in a space of, well, that's what I thought was the fact. We call it the fact. But in truth, it was not the truth. But we built a whole narrative, which was what we do as humans. Aren't we cute? We thought it was the truth of the reality, and it was not true. What a great mirror that I am personally experiencing here with just this question. So, as we are looking at this, does your imagination spark new creative approaches to attracting your desired outcome? So what I'd like to do is take it from a question and make it an affirmation for fun, for kicks. Your imaginative spark will create new approaches to attracting your desired outcome. And so it is. That's one affirmation. Or another affirmation is, I am in my imagination spark of creation, and everything that I am attracting is of my desired outcome or intent. Okay, now that's pretty long. Let's do a do-over. I am imaginative. My spark creates attraction so that my desired outcome is in juicy flow. Okay, now that one landed a little bit better. It's still kind of long. So, I wrote these questions, maybe about a month and a half ago. And every time I read them, I'm like thinking, I don't know that I guess I wrote that. But this one today holds a particularly high charge and vibe and frequency for me this morning. And what that is about is that, excuse me, there goes my throat chakra. So here I'm speaking my truth. Hello, truth. Is that from writing these questions and moving into this attraction 41 questions, there is a whole lot of high vibrant energy in the initial cause of writing this material, and also in the effect of being at the point of the question and what's going to be said. This feels super high vibrant for me. So does your imagination spark new creative approaches to attracting your desired outcome? Yesterday we talked about the imagination and what's our go-to on that. And that felt pretty groovy. And on the podcast and video, I was called to do a meditation practice to get into that stillness and that quiet and that reflective self-realization of whatever's coming into your field and being quiet and receiving. And today I'm going a little bit of a different direction here with moving into cause and effect, origin of cause, going into effect or trauma in the moment now. So when we're receiving information from the universe or from a person or from a bird or from the body or from whatever, okay, and it could feel like at the Sedona trip and just recently noticing that a lot of things I think are true or fact are clearly aren't, but I've built a whole bubble around that's true, and then it's like, wait a minute, that never was true, and I'm living some life of illusion. All right. So when we look at information that's coming in, and I've got a great coach, Linda Starr. She's really good about asking, when you're being asked or requested of another person to do something, it's just darling how she puts it. She said, I'm getting a no on that. So it's almost kind of like, the messaging system in the body is saying no. So it's kind of like, it's a soft no because it's like, spirit, or I need to go into prayer. Let me go into prayer, and then I'll give you the answer. And the answer is no. But thank you for asking. So when we're in some sort of this illusionary experience, what could have happened here is when you first get data that comes into your field. Now, data comes in by thought, feelings, emotions. And usually when it hits the body system with a pain or sensation or achiness or sickness or something like that, that's when you're getting hit with a 2x4 over your head. Basically, that messaging system is saying, listen, you're not paying attention. We're going to wham you so that you get it. You're going to get it. You're going to get it. So when we receive data at the early onset, then we can avoid different maladies in the bodysuit. Okay, and a lot of those maladies can be corrected once understood where the origin came from. So when we receive data, to me, I did a little chart. We've got two choices here. We can keep the data or the new information, or we can release it. And so those are two options right there. So moving into, does your imagination spark new creative approaches to attracting your desired outcome? And this is really good because we're moving into discernment. That imagination is working all the time, and it could be working in a shared reality or a real reality, or it could be in the illusion. Okay, and so I've shared that I was a little bit in illusion thinking something was true when it clearly was not. And so was my friend in Sedona. We both were kind of off on some stuff. We were both wrong. We both thought something was true and it wasn't. So this is where we go into really discernment, because we are manifesting at breakneck speed based on what we think, believe, do, act, or, send out as far as energy bands and bands and bands into our world. So really moving into, you get new information in or new manifestation that's working for you. Discern what the truth is there for you. And again, know that anything you do is going to be the perfect path for you. Okay. And so some outcomes are going to be real easy breezy and like wee bubbles. And some are going to be like climbing a mountain. Like I climbed a mountain over the weekend and I had a little spill. So I climbed a mountain. The ascension was okay. The descent was like, woo. Anywho, so receiving new data, and then you choice, keep it or release it. I keep it real simple here. And then you move into, and before that, you probably are in a place of discernment. If I keep it, is it true for me? Does it feel light for me? Does it feel supportive of the outcome that I'm wishing to draw into my field? Is it something that is part of helping humanity, helping others, being of service as a beautiful soul being in this beautiful body? Is it in support of that? So these are discernment questions you may ask yourself. Is this in support of the birds, of the sky, of the mountains, of the grass, of the trees, of everything? And when you really feel into it, and you can just make up your own little questions, there is the discernment question, is like, how is it landing in the body? Oh, I feel light. Okay. Now, for me getting a no, or for me getting a release response from the body, then for me, how it shows up is I get a crick in my neck. I get a crick in my neck, and it's on my right side. So when I get a crick in my neck, and what it means is I have limited range of motion, and I notice it when I'm driving because I look in the rearview mirror, and I also turn to make sure that I'm safe moving to another lane. So my big button for release is if I get a crick in my neck, that is a firm no. And the discernment is engaged, but the body is the informer, and the body tells me no. So as we move into that receiving data, moving to desired outcome, we can clear up and move to that outcome a lot more succinctly, naturally, in the flow, in the unfoldment of juicy sparks of imagination going into desired outcome. Any outcome you decide to do, let me tell you, it's for you, baby, and it's for you. Now, who in this school bus wants to be on the easy flowing, like going down a river on a nice tube, and you got your cooler, you got your BFFs, the sun shining bright, it's all sparkly, feeling good. You're just in the flow, baby, flow. Raise your hand if you want to be that person now. Yes, I'm not in the RV, but I'm still in bed doing this podcast, and I'm saying all the little bed friends here with me, all the little sparkles and bubbles in here, they all have their hands raised or say, yes, that's where we want to be. We want to be in the flow, baby, flow. We're flowing with you. Bam. Whew. So discern. As you are in your imaginative spark of creating new approaches to attracting your desired outcome, go into receiving data, do A or B. Keep it or release it. Keep it that simple. Keep it or release it. And the method you do it is through discernment, feeling into the body. How does it land in the body? Do you feel light or heavy? Do you got a crick in your neck or a little tummy ache because my tummy hurts all of a sudden? It doesn't hurt all of a sudden. It's telling you that's a no. It's telling you change something, baby. Right now, we love you. Change something, please. Eat something different. Get some exercise. Drink more water. Be alkaline. Check a pH balance. Do something different. We love you. This is yourself talking to yourself. I love you. I love you. I love me. I love myself. And with that being said, you have a most juicy and blessed day. And may all of your imaginative spark and creative approaches attract your desired outcome. Because when you give out that love, it comes right back in. You give it out, and here it comes back in. You're in the toroidal field. You're just this magnificent energy of the Taurus, giving it out, and then it comes back in, giving it out and coming back in. Stay in that flow, baby. And of course, stay juicy.